In a cozy room filled with warmth and the bittersweet scent of memories, a beautiful woman stood silently. The soft London sunlight filtered through the window, dancing off her silver jumkas and the crisp white fabric of her kurta. To anyone else, she looked radiant. To herself, she felt like a collection of carefully mended pieces. She stood before a photo frame, her fingers trembling as she traced the cold edge of the glass. It had been 3 long, agonizing yet healing years. The photo was her anchor. It was special, the first time she had taken Pakhi out in public. No hiding in the shadows of a scandal, no hanging her head in shame, no fear of the judgment that had once nearly drowned her. It was the day she decided to live again. Suddenly, the frantic pitter-patter of tiny feet broke the heavy silence of her reverie. "Mommy, Lego, Mommy, shed Lego," came a tiny, breathless voice, high-pitched and urgent. Pratiksha turned, the coldness in her chest melting into a soft, genuine chuckle. "Mommy, stop looting at Pakhi. I shy," Pakhi squealed. The toddler slammed her chubby, dimpled palms over her eyes, her little face turning pink, flustered that her mother had been caught staring at her picture again. Before Pratiksha could respond, an 8-year-old whirlwind barged into the room. "Pakhi, I said not to run. You never listened to your big B," Ruhan panted, trying to look stern despite the affection in his eyes. He turned toward his aunt with a dramatic, weary sigh. "Buey, stop making Pakhi sad. And why are you staring at that picture again? Mama is calling us. Hurry up or we'll be late for the festival." Pratiksha reached out, flicking his nose with a playful smirk that hid the ache in her heart. "Yes, sir. Captain Ruhan." She crouched down, her voice softening as she gathered the toddler into her arms. "And you little devil. Stop running around or you'll get hurt. And Mommy won't have anyone to eat ice cream with." Pakhi squealed in delight, hiding her face in the crook of Pratiksha's neck, her small hands clutching the white kurta. The 3 of them walked out together, their laughter filling the hallway, a sound Pratiksha once thought she'd never hear again. Outside, Radhika stood with her arms crossed, her brow furrowed in a dramatic frown. "Thank God! What took you so long? We're going to miss Snow White at this rate." "Mommy, Pakhi no skall. Mommy late. Bid be tell." Pakhi jumped into Radhika's arms, her lower lip trembling in a perfect pout. Radhika laughed, the sound bright and grounding. "Ruhan, I told you to hurry her up. And Pratiksha, look at what you've done. We're late. Pakhi won't get to meet Snow White on her birthday because of you." The glare from both children was instantaneous. Before the birthday tantrums could explode, Pratiksha stepped in, hands raised in surrender. "Oh, stop it, Babhai, you're teasing them. We still have time. It's only 6 p.m., the show starts at 7. And after that, ice cream, as promised." The glares melted into a chorus of cheers. They stepped out of their cozy sanctuary and into the lively, rain-washed streets of London. As they buckled into the car, headed for the Easter Cartoon Festival, their laughter echoed through the air, a fragile shield against a past that refused to stay buried. Later that night, the house was quiet, the kind of silence that allowed the ghosts to speak. Radhika had carried a sleeping Ruhan to bed, and Pratiksha had just finished tucking Pakhi in. She carefully placed pillows on either side of the toddler, a silent prayer that she would never roll over into the coldness of the world. She sat there for a moment, her thumb grazing Pakhi's soft, sleeping cheek. Those eyes. Even behind closed lids, Pratiksha knew the shape of them. Her breath hitched, a sharp, physical pain blooming in her chest. "No, don't go there. Don't let him in." She stood abruptly, fleeing to the large window that opened into their small, moonlit garden. She lived a stable life now, a respected psychologist at a leading hospital, a mother, a survivor. It was enough. It had to be enough. "You're thinking something," Radhika's voice cut through the dark. Pratiksha didn't turn. She forced a hollow smile into the glass. "Nothing, Babhai, just lost in thought." Radhika handed her a steaming mug of coffee and sat across from her. "Pratiksha, it's been 3 years. Don't you think? Maybe Pakhi deserves to know her father." "He is dead." The words were stones, cold, heavy, final. "But what will you tell her when she asks about him?" Radhika pressed gently. One day, she'll need more than silence, Pratiksha. She'll know what she needs to, Pratiksha replied, finally meeting her sister-in-law's gaze with eyes that were ancient with pain. She'll know that her mother never abandoned her, that she is loved, that she is enough. Radhika looked at her long and hard, seeing the walls Pratiksha had built. There was nothing left to say, not tonight. Udaipur, India. In a mansion that felt more like a mausoleum of gray stone and cold marble, a man woke with a violent jolt. His heart was a hammer against his ribs. Vansh, no, haha, leave me, people will see. It's not like it's the first time, babe. You brute, one day I'll leave you. No one leaves Vansh Ranawat, not unless I let them go. The laugh, that laugh, her scent, jasmine and innocence, clung to the air like a taunt. Drenched in sweat, Vansh Ranawat sat up in the darkness, clutching his head as if he could squeeze the memories out of his skull. Not again, he whispered to the empty room. Tia stirred beside him, her voice thick with sleep. Nightmare. He didn't even look at her. The sight of her only made the emptiness worse. Go back to sleep. I don't need anyone. Tia sighed, turning away. He was always like this. A block of ice that refused to melt, no matter how much she tried to burn for him. Vansh retreated to his study, the leather chair groaning under his weight. He lit a cigarette, the smoke curling around him like a shroud. He needed work. He needed the cold logic of profits and power. But when he pulled open his desk drawer to find a file, a small, cheap butterfly bracelet stared back at him. He clenched his jaw, his knuckles white. With a snarl of self-loathing, he hurled it back into the darkness of the drawer and slammed it shut. The morning after. The sun rose over Udaipur, but it brought no warmth to Vansh. Tia slid her arms around his waist as he stood by the window, staring at the horizon with dead eyes. Good morning, baby. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. Tia, I like my space. This ends here, he said, his voice a flat, emotionless blade. From now on, we are business partners, nothing more. Tia's face flushed a deep, humiliated red. After everything, after last night. I fucked you, that's it, he interrupted, turning to look at her with a gaze that stripped her soul bare. Don't confuse pleasure with emotion. I don't have any left to give. He walked out, leaving her shattered in his wake. London, England. Later that day, the wheels of a private jet screeched onto the London tarmac. As Vansh Ranawat stepped out into the cool evening air, the wind whipped through his black suit, his aura so cold it seemed to drop the temperature around him. Flashes of her voice danced in his mind again. I'll take you to London one day. When I'm a psychologist, you'll love it. Vansh clenched his jaw until it ached. Why now? Why did this city feel like a graveyard of his own making? He shut his eyes for a fleeting second, the roar of the city muffled by a memory he couldn't kill. Because some nightmares don't end when you wake up. Some nightmares are just waiting for you to find them.